Good morning everyone, it's Rachel here and we are doing Whatever Wednesday. So I just wanted to update you with a few things. I finished my Karen from Railway Cottage book. It's all been put together. It was put together in the most bodgy of fashions. I need to go around the edges here and do all the raw edges of the quilt, but I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Karen, for sharing that. I really enjoyed making this. I have done no work inside. See, it's all a bit wonky, but I've stitched it all down and it's ready for me to play in. I think Pamikins has made one from Pandora's Junk Journals. I didn't see a video, but I think she shared something. I just did a running stitch. I did it like Karen did. I stitched it into this and then I went, that made everything sort of more stable, and then I went in through the center of the signatures. No, I didn't do that. I stitched this on here, down there is what I did. So I've got some single pages, I've got double pages, and it's ready to play in. And I know Karen's done some more videos and she's turned hers into a stitch travel journal, which is funny because Sass and I have been talking about that for quite a while. And I've started something in for my Cyprus trip, so I'll share that when I've got it further down the track. So that's my little Karen book. Well, it's a big Karen book and I really love it. Look at it. It's like a real book. It's like it's got a spine and everything. Very cool. So thank you, Karen, for sharing that process, because that was really fun. I don't think I've enjoyed something quite so much for a long time. Now this here, don't get excited because we're not working on this today. The reason why is you've seen me work on a couple of the panels. This is just going to be canted. This is the bottom. This needs some work on it still. This needs a little bit. I've started doing the leaves and then I just need to stitch these down, and I finished going around that, and then I think that's done. I'm going to call it done. This one is done and that one is done. So I need to do some work on that and then we'll come back and construct that. So that's why that hasn't progressed. What we're going to do today, because it's out of necessity, is we're going to start working on fabric Christmas journal covers. So this is going to be clearly for a document journal, like so, and there. I'm going to do a few. I'm not reserving any journals this year. They will all just go in my shop when they're ready. You'll get a flip through and they'll go in my shop, simply because I don't know how long they're going to take me to do, and I feel a lot of pressure then if I reserve them. So no reserving of journals. They are going to go in my shop when they're ready. So that one I've been playing around with now. So what I did was, so you could just use a nice big piece of ticking behind, but ticking is something that I absolutely love, so I love to keep it. So sometimes what I like to do is have 3 or 4 pieces of fabric behind and build that and then put this on top. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Next week we'll do stitching on them. This week we're going to be just putting some together. So I'll come back to this one in a minute. So what I did was I stitched these 3 pieces together, and then this panel I have invisible stitched, and the invisible stitch came from Jude Hill. She is the pioneer of invisible stitching on YouTube. She's been doing it since YouTube existed, and that is where I learnt it, and probably where most other people learnt it. And then I'm going to go around the edges, but we can do all of that afterwards. But that just stops the fabric from puckering so much. So I'm going to put that aside. We'll come back to that one in a minute, and we're going to look at the fabrics. Now, one thing I wanted to show you was this piece of linen has been washed. This is the new linen. See, this is the not washed, and that's the washed and dried. It frays, of course, because it's linen. So if you've got a piece of this fabric and you want to wash it, well, it would just know that it will fray. I usually give a centimetre or 2 extra when I cut the pieces, just because, just in case it's not exactly straight, because linen is really wobbly. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue if it frays a bit. If you've got the panels like these and you want to wash them, I would do a little zigzag around the white bit and then you can wash them. But I actually think as you work into them, they're going to soften anyway when you're holding them in your hand and stitching. And I also feel like for journal covers, if that's what you're going to make, even pouches, having it a little bit stiffer is actually better, I do feel. So I just want to show you the difference. So it does wash up very nicely and become nice and soft and everything like the previous company that was printing. So I absolutely love the fabric. Anyway, I need to iron that one. And I'm going to make maybe some covers out of this. I've got cotton too. The cotton is lovely. The cotton is a really nice weight. So maybe I'll do a cotton. That's a linen. This faded a little bit, I noticed. So when I cut that piece, so I thought, when they printed, they've had an issue. They probably gave me a bit of extra, but I will still use that. So anyway, I've got a few pages. Now these, I've only got 2 packs of linen left. I've got more cotton coming. The linen in their shop, well, there's some of my other ones as well. We might do one of those. And from last year. The linen is now back in stock, so I'm going to do a linen order, but probably be 10 days before I receive anything. I think that one is really lovely. So I might do that. Now, if you like, sometimes when we design them, because in journals we can have our images on both sides. Sometimes they're a bit plainer on this side when you fold it and more on that side. You can cut them up and recompose. Maybe we'll do that with one. So I'm just having a look here quickly whilst I faff about what I might use. I might use that one. I love that. I'm going to use it in the cotton. And I do really like this one. This one is got lots of space for embellishing too, because it's plainer. Now the other thing I like to use, I'll put those over there because I've got a lot of stuff here that's giving me sensory overload. I'm going to do that one, that one. I mean, I'm ambitious. They may end up nude journals with nothing in, like with pages, but no embellishing. And then I wanted to do a cotton, I think, from this. Let's see which part is best. We could do a document. How many document ones have I got? I've got 3 documents and 2. I'm not going to get all these done, but we can get them started. Oh, I think I'll cut one from here. Let's see. What I'm going to do is just tear down there. I know, freaky, I know. Put that, I'll just chuck that out. I just want to play with the fabrics, guys. And then see if I can tear here. How we go. If you don't put not very well. If you don't put a straight snip, it doesn't tear straight. I don't do straight anything, do I? So I think that's gone very crooked. Let's see. Oh, wrong side. Oh no, oh yes, it did go crooked. So I'll have to cut. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm like. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to, I know you're thinking this is a very big cover, but I've got an idea. Cut that off. So let's start seeing. So if I want Santa on the front, and then I might have that bit can wrap around. Let's just see. Otherwise I'll take it off. Or it could go in and be a pocket. Actually, I think I can fold it over a bit further, like so. So this is a bigger format journal. So I could have that, but I think I could fold it in. So that's really nice. That's a big journal. Oh my gosh, isn't that lovely? I think I'll take that off. Let's just, might take a bit more off. I can use that. Okay, so that's going to be a journal. I'm thinking, do I want to put it on some wadding? No, or will I just glue it to some file folder? I think I'll just glue it to some file folder. So this doesn't really need anything because this cotton is nice and robust. So I'm going to put that aside. That's ready to do something to. And then I have, let's do this one. So you'll be thinking, gosh, I'm going to just cut this in case it tears crooked. They're bigger than the A4 pages, but I'll stagger them, and I might put in some horizontal, vertical pages that I'll trim off. I'm just cutting off the white bit. Now you could keep the white bit and needle turn it if you want to. I just do raw edges. It doesn't fray too much, even this fabric. So, and it's pretty well stitched down, and I'll go around all the edges and everything. So, it will be fine. Sorry if I'm off camera. I do need to hold it towards me so I can see where I'm cutting it. Now, if I were a really pedantic and precise person, I could even rotary cut the fabric. Let's just get this one. Now, I do wish that I had some of my Santa images in here, but I don't. So linen clearly is a little bit more wobbly than cotton, so it is nice to put the linen onto a base, especially with the panels. And the panels are A4, so they're not, I do like to extend them a little bit with something behind them, which is what I showed you in the beginning. And quite often I like these pages that don't have really a focal point in them, simply because they give you scope for more embellishing, adding things. So I might as well just trim them all off if you don't mind. And then we can see where it takes us. Yes, I think this, I was just thinking, I think this is from last year, this panel. I'd love to work, I probably should pull out one from my first year ones. They're lovely too. Pack 1, and they're fully in stock at the moment. And see where it takes us. I mean, there's no reason why I can't work into them into November. And I haven't had a chance to play with my Italian churches yet. I would love to play with those, but that can be next. And the gorgeous stitching and fabulous florals as well. Not enough hours in the day. Any more to cut? No, that's it. Okay, good. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so what do we want to put behind? So that one's already ready to go. That's one with that fabric. This one, okay. What is popping into my mind? Oh. Just trying to see, what do I have a lot of? I probably wouldn't use, that's an old linen-y mattress ticking. I wouldn't use that everywhere. Here they are. I probably need to go and get some more of these. So I think that's going to be lovely. Let's just see here. That's not wide enough. It's that way. But I could certainly have a piece like that. So Just going to rip it. So this is the old cotton. It's quite a bit thinner than this. I think this cotton is, the new cotton's 190 weight, and this is 125. Sorry, I'm just trimming off the white so I could have that there. This is how I do it, guys. And then we can have, do I have a piece of hemp here? Don't want that one. Probably have a little bit of red ticking. We've got green there, so I'd have red as my ticking. That's an old one, I won't have that one. There's not much there. What have I got here? Oh, that's not big enough. I'll tell you what else would be nice is some of my Italian mattress ticking. I don't know where I need to get some. I don't have any big pieces here, so I need to go and grab some. But let's just rip. So I just put it on here and rip it slightly wider than what I need, about there. And that can go all the way down. So I'll start layering it up like this. Now I may need to pull it in further. Oh yes, way too much. So bring it over. You'll notice I'm keeping the natural selvage edge. We can have it come over even a bit further. So actually I could take a little bit more off, because I can use that. That bit can be used. If it weren't only a smaller bit, then I wouldn't probably bother, but because I can use that, I've taken it off. So now let's see, because otherwise it's a waste. Put that there. Yes, that's better. I can even pull it out because I've got quite a bit of overhang there. There. And then I need a piece that is going to fit. Now, if that piece fits, I could use that. Does it overhang enough? It does. But you can't really see. So no, I'll use this. This is just a Italian cotton. So that will go there. Take that bit off. It looks like linen, but it's cotton. Okay, so very carefully then lift this off and put that there, and then pin it. There and there. Okay, so that's going to go with this one. If anything's then uneven, you can trim it off afterwards. And I think that's going to be lovely. So I'll put that aside for a second. I'm going to show you how I'll stitch them together after. Now we have this one. So similar process. I probably wouldn't use this because it's just, that will just be all covered then. Okay, so I had this here. Let's use a piece of this. It doesn't matter if it's not straight because it's going to be behind. Okay, so these for me sort of work a little bit like, I probably should have kept more. They work a little bit like ticking or a little bit twilish sort of look about them, which is what I really like about them. So that's that. And this piece we might use a few more extra sort of fabrics. So I could have a piece of this. A bit longer. I'm sort of following the dots. Just cut right across. I can't get this anymore. I really liked this fabric. I used to put it in my packs, but I can't get it anymore, so I want that down the bottom, and it needs to go maybe about there. So that's going right across the bottom. Let's see. You can use your mat to see if you're kind of going straight. Yep, I think I'll leave that like that. I won't mess with it. I'm actually going to put a few pins in now to hold it. And then what will I have? I've got that piece, and it will just make it. That, and then we need one more piece here. I'd love that if it were, I think I would prefer a linen, but I don't have one, so maybe I'll use this. So let's get our size first, and then I think we can tear it and take that. I have to take that off because a little bit of it will peekaboo out. Oh my goodness. goodness. I mean, even making a cover like this is going to be, would be nice, and then cut up a panel. Maybe we'll do that next. Although these are not panels, I need to cut up. Then we'll have a look and see what it's looking like. Did I have another pin somewhere? I thought I did. There, I did. There it is. And then that will go over the top. Yep. It's going to be good. See this one. Now somewhere I do have big pieces of linen. I just saw this. Oh, I just saw this fabric. This could be good. Probably needs an iron. I've just got a scrap of it. Going to take that little, I can always use it, so it's not going to go to waste. Take the curly whirly bit off. Okay, that's piece number 1. It's not going to be big enough, but it could go down there. Okay, so that's going to go there. I like these strong colours together. Pin and pin. What about if we use a piece of ticking that can go all the way down there? So let's I do like my fabrics to stay, where possible, squared off. It just makes it easier. I'm not quite sure about where there, but we'll see. If I need to take more off, I can. So that's going to go here. Yeah, I probably do need to take some more off, but I can do that afterwards. Put my pins in there. I mean, this is eyeballing at its finest, isn't it? There, and then we've got it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Go put a little piece in there. Now, what piece would I like? Not ticking, we've got ticking. We have that pattern, so not that pattern. Let's see what that looks like. It's going to have a little hole in there, but it doesn't matter. I like that. So that's what's going to happen there. And we're just going to have a little hole, which I have not done before. And I'll probably put these onto old file folder as their base. Okay, so let's stitch it. Look at the big hole. I could put something there, but what do I really want to sacrifice anything to have it there? No, and this new cotton is very robust, so I think it'll be fine. To find where so I just use these old vintage threads to stitch things down. They're nice and strong and good color. And what I do here, so where it's visible, so these bits are visible, I try to keep my stitches invisible. And then where it's going to be covered, you don't really have to worry about what type of stitching you're doing. So I'm going to start from here. Now what you want to do is you need all of this at the back needs to be stitched down, because when you glue it to the file folder, you don't want any loose bits, if that makes sense. So you can just do like any kind of stitch to hold it together. And I'm just making sure I'm capturing the back. I only want to go invisible where you'll be able to see it, if that makes sense. I'm going invisible where it's visible. It's fairly quick. So I'll show you this one. Where you don't have a big whopping hole is, of course, you just stitch everywhere where you need to stitch. Now it might start becoming an area where you can see the stitches, so then I start doing invisible stitch. Jude Hill's invisible stitch. So just little teeny tiny stitches on the top and long stitches at the back, and the same here. It doesn't take long. Even people who don't sew can do this. If you have a sewing machine, of course, you can do it with your sewing machine. This doesn't actually take that long to do. I'm doing invisible stitches there, but now I can start doing just a visible sort of running stitch, because you won't be able to see it. Got a knot there, it doesn't really matter. So just big long stitches to hold it, because then we're going to be stitching over the top anyway. It's just to make sure it's all being held in place and glued down when we get to that stage. So I'll just go through to the back and you'll be able to see, well, kind of. Oh, I kind of missed it there. Just going to come back and do more stitches over here because I missed it. Because you don't want that, like when you glue, then that's going to be lifting otherwise, if you don't glue it or stitch it all down. Okay, let's go over here and stitch this bit on. Doesn't really matter where I start. Now just periodically put it down and make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. You won't be able to see any of this, so I can just do quick big stitches. Now you may just be able to see these just because it's dark green. But I think when everything else is going on with it, it'll be all right. You can just barely make out this. I'm trying to go on the slightly lighter bits. Trying to be careful not to go down the same hole. And you do need to stitch this down, otherwise it's going to be gaping when it's glued onto the file folder. You can also do overcast stitch if you want. It is a bit faster just to do the big long running stitch. And that bit is done. Got one more section to stitch down. See, it's fairly simple. Nice big chunky tangle there. Oh my goodness, I'm going cross-eyed. Couldn't get the knot out. Just carefully pull it through. Okay. And now little stitches around here. And not too far apart because we don't want it gaping. Okay, and one more bit to stitch, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the top to prepare it. So if I had my old cotton, this one, I would have filled in this gaping bit as well because it's a thinner cotton. But because I've got the heavier cotton, which is kind of it's the same weight as the linen, so I don't really need to worry about it too much. I've got another knot. Where is it? There. There we go. Okay. I've pulled it too tight, just a sec. So always check that you haven't pulled it too tight. Okay, so I've got my base fabric put together. That's how it's meant to be. And then this goes on top. To get rid of that. That's crooked. How's that? Looks all right. And then we're going to put our pins everywhere. Now the only thing I will need to be careful of is to make sure I stitch it down where my hole is. Right, get a nice long piece of this, and we're going to do invisible stitch. And I start in the middle here. 1, 2, probably just even 3 rows really, just to hold it in place. So just little stitches that you can't see, so little on the top and long on the back. A nice long needle is good, like a milliner's needle, just so you can jump forward easily. I find keeping it down on the table, I go a bit slower, but I'm keeping it flat. Now I can feel there, that's the end. I don't have anything there now. I think I'll just go across anyway as though there were a fabric there. See, I'm in the hole. But I'm just going to keep going across as though there were a fabric, just so I don't have to stop and start. try to come up on the lighter bits so that you can't see the stitch. And then jump down to about there. It's probably, what is that, 2 or 3 centimeters, and then come back the other way. I'll show you what it looks like on the back in a sec when we finish this row. I probably will come back and do another row along there, and the same up the top. Oh, totally crooked, doesn't matter, because we are going to be working on top of them. So, ow. So on the reverse side, I've got, look, it's crooked, but it doesn't matter. You have long stitches on the back and short stitches on the front. So I will continue to do that one off camera, but when you fold it over, this is what it's going to look like. Isn't that lovely? And then we can embellish next week. I may embellish some of them off camera. So I'm going to do that one, and this one. Okay, we can embellish this one. Let's do that. And this one. This one's already stitched down. I'll do all of that. That's my homework. That makes me laugh. Homework. Okay, so I've got bits and pieces here that I can collage with. I'll put that one over there. So this one I haven't used any of this. I quite like that there. You don't need too much. Probably need a little bit of maybe some ticking. Let's see what scraps. Do I have any red scraps in here? Oh, it's a bit more purpley. Oh, I have that, but I don't think I'll put that on there. That Tilda. I don't mind that. It is covering up his feet. Maybe I'll just cut this one down a little bit. That's better. And it doesn't need much. It's already a very busy cover. Put those there. Oh. Because there's so much pattern, I'm now looking at, you know, checks and more geometrical sort of things. I could just put that there. This breaks up the pattern a little bit. Yep, put that there. Now I'm going to start looking at it folded over. Okay, that's like that. Yes, that's good. It doesn't really need much more. There's just so much going on. I could have a little piece of this just down here. Just a little pop of red, brighter. I'm going to put that there. And here, oh, I love that. Do I want, it's really chunky. Don't want the chunky one. I don't know if I've got the appropriate thing here. That's my only thing. I probably need to pull out some more. Oh, I've got this bit more of this one. This is my favorite. I love this. Some more laces and bring them over. I think maybe there. There. No, then it's level with those and I don't like it. There. And I think that's it on this cover. And then there's stitching that needs to happen. So that's that one. Not too many elements because it's already super busy. And then we have this one. I kind of need to look at it like that. I'll have that up there. That's a given. Don't need too much because we've got all these beautiful things on here. We can always use our little pieces too. I think I'll put that. No, I've got too much happening over there. What about there? Do I want something like there, like that going that way? I think I do. Yeah. It has such a nice weight to it now that it's been stitched on. Do I want that? Let's have a look. Yeah, put that there. I feel like I would like a little something down. I've got this chunky one. Or could have that at the bottom. I quite like that. And then on this side, we don't need too much. Like that. See, you do find homes for these things. Put that there, and see, because it's not stitched, I could even slide something under there, like maybe a piece of this, maybe not, or I could have it go over, or I like it under. Put that there, and then maybe have that like that. And that's all. Unless I want a little piece of lace in here. I don't think so, but let's just double check. I don't really want to cover her up. It would have to be a little piece. Oh, I love that. That could go there. Let's have a look. Fold it and see, that will probably be on the, yes, that will be on the spine, so I think that'll be nice. So that's what it looks like on the front. Love it. And then that's the back, and I equally love it. What I'm going to do here is just overcast stitch in probably red. Yeah, red on this one because there's a lot of green. And then I'll stitch all my elements down, and then next week we will embellish. I'll do the same with this one. These ones I need to prepare, and then maybe I'll prepare them, and then maybe we'll put some embellishments on, but we'll do some actual stitching on these next week. So just to recap, we've got these two. We have this one. Let's just put these aside. This one I still need to stitch, but we can fold it so we can see what it looks like. It's going to be gorgeous. So here, when I'm folding it, I already feel like I'm going to need some, you know, some red somewhere and some lace. So I could already have something like this on there, even a bigger piece, who knows. And then we'll do the lace. I probably need to get some more lace, a bit similar to that. Doesn't need too much. And then on the other side, it's redder. Isn't that interesting? So on that side, we might add some of this somewhere. I'd probably like to do a little bit of work on that, but I'll add a little bit of greenery and some lace somewhere as well, sort of thing. So that's that one. We have this one here. This one's got lots of room for adding bits. Hopefully I've got no pins going the wrong way so I can fold it. So it's fairly plain. So we'll be able to add, I might get a nice bigger piece of lace or something like that. No, but I need to add some fabrics under there. So I'm just looking what I have here. I probably want more red than green. That's the same pattern. Yep, so I can add, I might even have something on my big overall fabric that I can pull off, but I'm going to add quite a bit to this one. We might do that together. I'll prepare it and we'll do that together. And then this one again is busy, so it doesn't need too much. You know, it's going to have a little bit of lace. I usually like it up over there. It can have a bit of check. Oh, I like that. I'm going to leave that there. It can have a bit of check. Could even have a bit of linen or green. Doesn't need too much because you can do a bit of stuff here. It's probably only those two elements. I might even pin them in place so I remember that they're going to go there, and that's going to go over there. And let's flip it over. see. Oh my gosh, I love it. And again, it doesn't need too much. You could have, oh, maybe a piece of this darker. Down, oh, right down there. So it's sort of covering bits, but nothing majorly important. So that's going to go there. And I'll probably find a piece of lace or something to go on it as well. And that's it. I mean, they're just the covers. The fabrics just, you know, they're pretty good just by themselves. So that is my video for today. We've started working on some, this one we're doing together. This one we'll do together. We're starting working on some fabric covers for Christmas journals. I started some paper ones, and these are fabric ones. I won't get all of these done. It's not realistic. But anyway, I can plod along on them and just have a bit of fun. So I hope you enjoyed that. Gives you some ideas. As I said, these are out of stock at the moment. I think I've got 2 linens. If they might have, I don't think they will have gone while I'm doing the video. I have ordered cotton. The linen was out of stock. I'm going to go and put an order in for linen fabrics now. So, but yeah, it'll be 10 days at least before they arrive. 14 days. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.